Hi everyone, I'm Tina, the creative guru with Gems, Paper, Scissors. Today I am joining fellow makers to do a Twisted Sister YouTube hop. I am twisting our new Sweet as Honey paper pack, as well as twisting our Dragonfly Sympathy stamp set. To begin with, I took the Damascus patterned sheet, cut it down to size, taped it down with some washi tape, although painter's tape works fine as well. I just don't want it to move. I then took the package, the envelope that the paper pack came in, ran it through my die cut with one of our large circle thin cuts. I am attaching that down so it doesn't move, and using our Distress Oxides, mustard seed, and pumice stone to create a night moon. I'm doing it so that it's definitely a moon, but you can still see that Damascus paper peeping through for texture. I'm then taking the cut circle from that package, covering my moon, and then using peeled paint and Mermaid Lagoon to create kind of a night sky feel. Again, I want to be able to see that Damascus print pattern peeping through the ink because I want the depth of texture that creates to the eye. So just using basic things, I'm twisting that paper, I'm twisting some stamps, and I'm even twisting the package that paper came in. It's kind of that waste not, want not, right? So then I lift off the circle and remove the tape because I want to add color around the border. I don't want lines. So I'm going to go ahead and heat set that with my embossing heat tool. And it gets that chalky distress feel. Then I'm going to sprinkle some water onto my hand and do some splashes because Distress Oxide ink does those watermark movements. That's also really fun. I'm going to go ahead and take my heat tool and finish getting those dots to pop. Once that's done, I am taking my clear shimmer brush, shaking that up, sprinkling some moisture and glitter all over because again, this is dragonflies are magical, and so I want that sparkle and the bling, and I'm going to quickly heat set that with the tool again. Then once that's all nicely dry, I'm going to clean my surface because if not, I'm just going to have a mess. So then I take my intense black ink and my Sweet as Honey card making stamp set to create that field of flowers. And I'm going to stamp that and have it offset, but I'm protecting my moon with that circle, right? Because I want it to be framed with that moon. I want the moon to pop, and I'm going to do several layers. So I've got some shading and just this really flexible background, different heights, different textures, different looks. Again, I'm into visual pop. So once I've got that put aside, I'm going to grab my dragonfly from the Dragonfly Sympathy, place it on my block, bend the tail a little because I want it to be flying from that field of flowers. And again, I didn't really want a sympathy card, so I took the Cassidy alphabet and placed it onto two separate blocks so I can just transfer over my repetitive little letter there for the I, and placed with brave wings fly. So now instead of a sympathy card, I have a very magical, proactive, rooting for my friend kind of card. So I go ahead and get that stamped. I move the I from the width to wings so that I've got that I in both places. And going ahead and stamp my message. I curve it around that moon shape and get that placement just how I want it so that it kind of has a movement in that shadowy feel on that moon. I then take my gold nugget Spectrum Noir marker and do a shadow around my moon. Just because again, visual pop. I want that depth and dimension created by adding that shadow work. And I only do it about, 2/3 of the way around so that the upper part where my saying is not accented with my marker. I then go ahead and sprinkle some spots all over my card with that metallic. I then shift over to my metallic Pewter Spectrum Noir pen and also add spots and dots. And then finally, I splatter some more of that clear shimmer brush. I highlight the wings because, again, this is all magical and sparkly and intense just to add all of these layers. I then take my Stickles diamond ointment and add more sparkles because when it dries, it's going to be another layer of height or dimension. And then finally for the sparkle, I add our silver glitter gems. So I have a flat layer of sparkle, a mid sparkle with the stickles, and then I have a high bump point with those glitter gems. And I'm using my pickup tool to place that. I am still a little bit iffy on how that works. I have small fingers, and it's helpful if you are having a hard time, but I'm still much more comfortable using my nonstick scissors. I then take some of our cardstock that I just lightly edged. I elected to run with Rosemary for that nice green gray. Placed that onto my card base, taking my .03 black journaling pen to add a border around this card. Again, it adds a window, it makes a framing point or focal point. I take my thin 3D foam tape to mount my Damascus distress oxided sheet to lift it off of the matting of the rosemary cardstock. Place it all together, and bam, you have a fantastic dimensional card twisting several elements. Thank you for joining me for this video. Like, share, and follow